All right, you guys, chapter 7 is on hypothesis testing. We are going to start with understanding that the word hypothesis is just going to be a statement. Get my pen working here. It's just going to be a statement and that someone wants you to believe, a statement to believe. And the whole point of a hypothesis test is to determine if we should believe that statement or not. Now, there is another name for this statement that we believe, or maybe we should not believe, and that is going to be our claim. And this word claim right here, you'll see in these first set of examples that we're going to have. The word claim is going to be that statement that somebody wants us to believe. So here, the consumer analyst reports. Okay, so we've got some dude or group of people who wrote a report, and they want us to believe that the average life of a certain type of automobile battery is not 74 months. Here's another statement. An electronics manufacturer wrote a report, and in that report, they claimed that the variance of life of its home theater system is less than or equal to 2.7. I'm going to assume that's years. I don't know. We're kind of missing some information there. 2.7 years or decades, maybe, probably years. Here's another one. A realtor publicizes, in other words, they're claiming, they're making a statement that they want us to believe. And the statement that they're making is that 24% of homeowners feel that their house is too small. So maybe they conducted a survey and they're reporting the results. A company shipping department, they're reporting or making a claim that the number of shipping errors for every million shipments has a standard deviation that's less than 3. So as you can see here, each one of these statements or claims, these are going to be what we call our hypothesis. Okay, now there's two kinds of hypothesis, the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. And the only thing that you need to worry about is that the null hypothesis contains a statement that involves equality, and the alternative hypothesis does not contain equality. That's it. We're gonna identify the claim. We're gonna write the claim, and what we're gonna do is take it. So you're like, well, what do you mean? This is the claim. Didn't you just read that and say that was the claim? Yes, but we're going to identify the claim, and we're gonna identify it by rewriting it not in words but in symbols. So we're gonna use a symbol for this word right here. We're going to use a symbol for this word. We're going to use another symbol for these words right here. So we're just going to basically rewrite this sentence. We're going to label it as the claim. We're going to rewrite it. So we're going to use symbols, and we are going to then label that statement as either having equality or not having equality. Okay, so and we will always have both a null and an alternative. Okay, now I hope that you're going, that does not make any sense. How can you have both a null and an alternative? I'll explain that to you in just a second. But let's just start by doing a couple. These over here are going to be things that will help you. Greater than or equal to is going to look like this. Less than K, that means that your mu is less than K. If you need some help with words, I'll help you use this a little bit later. But these three things that I have right here, these are the only three types of claims that you can have. Okay, this is going to be there's only three outcomes, and every single one of these will be translated into one of these. Okay, now for this first exercise, we will not use mu every time. And the reason that we won't use mu every time is because not every one of these are talking about the mean. Here we talk about the mean. Here we talk about the variance. Here we talk about a proportion. Here we talk about the standard deviation. And here we talk about the mean again. Okay, so in this first exercise, and I think we got one more after this. What do they talk about here? According to 25%, it's a proportion again. They don't say proportion here, but we know it's a proportion because they give us a percentage. So in each one of these problems right here, we have a different statistics word, and that the statistics word will tell us what symbol that we're going to use. Now, after we do this first lesson where we're just getting the idea of how to read the claim and how to write both the null and the alternative hypothesis and get them labeled correctly, we're going to use these different statistics words. But after we get this lesson done and we're pros at writing these statements, then we will stop using all these other words right here, and we will only do means and proportions. Okay, so we're always going to be using either mu's or p's. I don't think we work any more problems that involve variance or standard deviation. But anyway, okay, so here's what you have to do. I know this is a long list of things, but I promise you, if you get this down, this is important because this is like step number one. You have to get this down in order to work the rest of the problems or learn how to work the rest of the problems. So here's what you're going to do. You're first of all going to write down the word claim because every single one of these statements is a claim. And then you're going to take these words and you're going to change it into a mathematical statement. Okay. So I said that I used the blue to indicate that we've got to change that to a symbol. Well, we know that the symbol for that is mu. Okay. So mu. And then it says the mean is not. So mu is not. Well, how do we write is not? Well, we've got this one right here. We've got these symbols. This is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. If you don't know those, you might want to brush up on your symbols. This is greater than, this is less than, and this one right here is not equal to. So when it says that mu is not, we put an equal sign with a slash through it. Mu is not 74. Okay, that's the claim. And all we did was take these words right here and changing into the symbols. This says the exact same thing that this does. The mean is not 74 months. And that's the claim. That was given information. All we did was take what was given verbally and change it into symbols. Okay. Now we label it as either the null hypothesis or the alternative hypothesis, and that's based on whether or not it contains equality. Not equal does not contain equality. This is down here. It's in this list right here. So that means that this statement right here is going to be considered the alternative hypothesis, and that's the way we write it, a capital H with a little subscript A. Okay. Now, to write the null hypothesis, because every one of these statements is going to have both an alternative and a null. To write the null hypothesis, we simply take the opposite of this. So if the claim is that the battery is not 74 months, then what's the opposite of the mean not being 74 months? What's the opposite? Well, the opposite of that is the mean is 74. Okay, so we've got the claim. The claim is that the mean is not 74 months. Since the claim is not, it has a statement that does not contain equality, we label it the alternative. And then we write down a statement, the opposite of this one. These two are the opposite of each other. And that's going to be the null. Notice it involves an equal sign, so that's why we call it the null. I'm going to stop right here. Go ahead and look at this and see if you can do this one before you watch my next video. Here is, so write the word claim down, see if you can use the right symbol for the word variance, and then see if you can use the right mathematical symbol for is less than or equal to 2.7. And then that's where we'll start the next video.